This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and the Lunatic Sidekicks podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to another episode 3 of Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me as always, Master of the Core, it is.
Yeah, well, everyone.
And of course, that rookie. Yeah, it is.
The noob. This is Matt. I'm here.
Noob Kona, yeah. Alright, so. Yeah, we're back to talk, I guess we call them the bridging issues, Will, of, Action Comics Weekly. They take you from the last series, and then next week we'll start the first arc of the next Green Lantern series.
And I guess to kick it off, I kind of have a question for Matt. He read Green Lantern Corps 224, the final issue of the Silver Age Green Lantern series, and then it picks up immediately in Action Comics Weekly 601. How did you? I mean, what was your kind of impression of that? Because I have an opinion, and I want to see if it's shared.
Honestly, I didn't really link between the two. I kind of forgot that's sort of how it went. But I mean, it is a bit of a shift in terms of the focus. Pretty much all the other Green Lanterns are dead or inactive, except for him and his understudy John Stewart and Guy Gardner, who we didn't really see in the final Green Lantern Corps one. Just maybe heard him talked about. But I tried to speed through. I didn't read every single issue. I know we're probably going to be talking mostly about the summaries of these, but I had some free time this afternoon, so I read up to 622 of the Action Comics instead of 635. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like the first stories from this and how they related to, there's definitely a vibe difference, I think. But I don't know. I guess I wasn't prepared for the question.
Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, man.
So he's a little bit more introspective, and there's a big baddie, big bad girl that kind of is about to cause it. It's definitely a little bit more modern in its brutality, and I know all the violence is kind of off screen, but I didn't really expect some slasher type antics like this out of here. But
So did you read the entire issues of them all? What you read, Conan, or did you just read?
No. I just read the Green Lantern stories. Well, sorry to say I did skip some Nightwing stuff.
No, that's no. Because me and Will were just talking. Did you find it like more difficult to read these than like what we read so far?
No, I don't think so. Not really.
Do you think it's about the same quality, or did you like something better? Did you like this better?
I mean, I kind of there were ebbs and flows to what I read so far. Like I didn't really like the Freaks storyline that much, and I liked the early ones a little bit more, but I don't know. They were kind of hit and miss. I see what they're doing with like the serial nature. They want you to keep reading and all that, but I like Star Sapphire and the fact that she is from old Hal Jordan's old crush. That's that got my head scratched a little bit about how she was randomly chosen to lead the people of the planet. I forget what they're called, but
Zamorans.
The Gamorreans, yeah, right.
But because I mean, it's kind of weird because this was like what 1988. It was the 50th anniversary. So like starting in 601 through I think they went to 642. Will it's like I guess they decided to go back to like what had been originally when it started in 1938 as like a book of like different serialized stories and stuff. But like.
Well, and most books at that, even in the Silver Age, you were getting 8-page or 12 pages.
Backup stories.
I think even the first, several issues. It's been a while. First several issues of Fantastic Four, maybe first 4 or 5. I don't know. They had at least 2 stories in them. I think.
Yeah.
It was kind of a coming out of the Silver Age, and then as we hit kind of the Bronze Age, boom, they started taking up the whole issue pretty much. And then later they would shrink back down and get backup stories, right? For a while. It was kind of weird.
I just read an interview not too long ago. I think it was Mark Waid was like one of the editors on this at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, the weekly thing was like, it was kind of cool, but it was like a giant pain in the ass getting the issue out like every week, even though it was like short stories by different." Creative teams, and I think he was like it was so bad that like on one of these issues, I forget which one, like I think him and somebody else that were actually like had to like fill in and do some stuff like on a Friday afternoon just to make sure it like got out.
Yeah.
Well, and I hadn't remembered this until I read it, is there is that drastic shift in tone and kind of focus from the end of Green Lantern Corps to that first issue of Action Comics Weekly. It's almost like, hey, we're on planet Oa, the Sector 0. The universe is all around us, and it's the stage, and then it shifts down to America, Earth, right? Or even one city, pretty much, and.
Yeah, he holds up in Chicago for a while.
Yeah.
It's just, I just found it very weird after like issue 200, because I mean, it was still kind of like, cosmic and stuff, but it's like once the Guardians, like most of them leave, except for that one, it's just like, they had like these set in stone rules. You do this, you don't do this. But then like by 200, it's like, oh yeah, we're leaving with our girlfriends. Yeah, you guys protect the universe however you see fit. Do what you want,
Rock on, man.
Basically got these nuclear weapons on your fingers. Yeah, protect the universe how you want.
Yeah.
I think the art was kind of hit and miss too over the course of it. Once MD Bright took over, though, the art was awesome. I mean, he's a really good artist. Gil Kane, those issues were nice looking too. And then I can't remember the artist that came after him, but it was kind of uneven there for a little while. And I'll be honest, as I was reading through these, I think I got up to about 20 or 22 of Action or so.
We tied.
Yeah, you probably won.
No.
I mean, well, it's like I was telling Ray. It's like, I mean, they're 8-page stories, so 35 issues. It only worked out. There was like a little less than 5 issues, like 5 regular issues, page count wise. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this took me more than one sitting to get through. I mean, usually I can do more. I can read more than 5 in one sitting. Yeah, it took me at least 2 or 3 sittings to get through these.
Well, I have to say, I really did not enjoy the Peter David issues. Those just they didn't hit for me. I'm sure they hit for other people, but I just they weren't for me.
Like that one arc, it was very like generic superhero, and it was almost kind of like a foreshadowing of what would come in the 90s, because it was like him versus like this crew of like super powered whatever mercenaries or whatever, and it like each had like their cute little nicknames and stuff, and I'm like, it's kind of the way the 90s were going to come in.
Kind of go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if like the writing and especially like the art maybe suffered a little bit, because like maybe everyone was rushed because they were getting an issue out every week. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I'm sure the people drawn it suffered more than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading somewhere online, if you're going to do a 22-page comic, it actually takes more than a month.
Oh, yeah.
To build a 22-page comic, from the script all the way through to the lettering, all of that stuff. And the only reason people think that you should be able to do that is because Marvel comes out or DC comes out with a book every month, right?
Yeah. And I mean, these were 48 pages. Yeah, again, it wasn't the same team for the whole book, but it was like, can you imagine the editors? It's like, okay, we got the script from this one. Do you get the script from the other guy?
This one. Yeah, we need 8 other scripts. Or wait, 6 other scripts. Wait, where are we? What issue are we even doing, right?
It was weird. Like most of these, like Green Lantern was like the first story, wasn't it? But there was like at least 2 or 3 of these issues where it's like, I'm scrolling. I'm like, where's this Green Lantern story?
Exactly.
I was like, but yeah, even like DC Universe, it's very weird. Like they don't have like the full run of like Action Comics Weekly. Like it goes like 601 and 602, and then it like jumps to 618 through 626, and that's it.
That would actually be a pretty cool omnibus. Collect all those stories. Mm-hmm. From each issue, and then just put them. Here's all the Green Lantern stories. Here's all these stories. Here's all the Dead Man stories. Here's all.
Well, you know what? They actually did some of that because, like the 2 Nightwing arcs, the Nightwing and Speedy arcs, they did collect that in a trade, like because Kristen and I covered that like in January.
Diggity day.
Well, I mean, how many pages was that? I mean, if it was 2 arcs, it was what, like 2 issues then? 2 total issues, maybe? Or 2 normal issues?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It wasn't even that long because they even had like a Secret Origins issue at the front of it. So yeah,
they threw some other stuff in there, gotcha, to give it a little bit of bulk.
Yeah. Gotcha. Because it wasn't that long, yeah. But I mean, that's the only thing I know of that they collected from Action Comics Weekly. I don't,
Well, did you guys have any problems with some of the developments later in the series?
We could tell they were like, they really wanted to reset some of the stuff. Like, and it's like, all of a sudden it's like, he has a problem with the girlfriend. She's gone. It's,
well, I mean,
yeah, some of that seemed pretty abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like, wait, what? What? I don't even remember why he was fighting without his ring. Was it to prove that he didn't have fear at one point?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one arc where they never mention that past this, so you don't even have to worry about that, Kona, because it's like, when Abinser originally picked him, he had the ring like erase all fear from Hal Jordan, but yeah, that never comes up again past these issues.
And I think that's something that the Jeff Johns run kind of goes back and subtly retcons, because it's not he's fearless. He has the ability to overcome great fear.
Well, yeah, that's the Green Lanterns. It's like they're not. It's not like you're without fear. It's just you can act in spite of fear.
But yeah, that retcon about removing all fear, that bothered me some. It's kind of.
Oh yeah, it bothered them too because they never mentioned it again.
And then the second one with, you don't need a battery. You don't have to.
I know. And then we'll get there because there's even like plot points. I mean, it's 8-page stories, but they had 35 issues. There's like at least two different plot points they never resolve, which I had to buy these Green Lantern specials because I couldn't even find them digitally anywhere. Mm-hmm. Not even on our site. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, because they took care of Jon Stewart in one of them, and then the Malvolio priest thing.
Oh, well, that's the other thing. It's like, Emerald Twilight, when we get there, it's like, when Hal goes bad, everyone's like, oh, it's Malvolio. And they're like, no, we're not even going to, they didn't want to mention any of that Action Comics stuff. So like, no, it's definitely not him. No.
Yeah, it was, I don't know.
That was the weirdest thing for me, is that Malvolio guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange.
It's like the Guardians are just letting like a mental case run around with like a ring.
Mm-hmm. And then, I have to retrain you to use your ring because the ring doesn't reprogram it for different sectors. Why would it need to? Are the laws of the universe different from sector to sector? I mean, I don't
except for like gravity and stuff. Yeah, why would it be different? Where it's like, hey, there's less oxygen here, there's more oxygen. Yeah. That was kind of weird. I think they just wanted some excuse to be like, oh, see, it's not so easy without the Guardians and whoever else.
And John's even kind of comes back to that because he makes, in Rebirth, he has Green Arrow use the ring and it pretty much just wipes him out.
Oh, yeah.
It takes really strong will to do it.
Yeah, Rebirth, that's funny. Yeah, he gets like one shot off at Sinestro and he's like, is it hurt like that every time? And was it Cal Rayner or something? He's like, yeah, every time.
Every time. Yeah. And, it's, I guess, really as good an issue as 224 was, I really don't like long term what it did to the core, basically the core and the Guardians and all that stuff, because it was just they seem to kind of gut the concept, and then they would do it again in Emerald Twilight.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, why did they do that? Did they have some kind of plan that didn't come through? Because I was like, yeah, if you're going to end the series, that's one thing. But why can't you just say, oh yeah, the Green Lanterns are still out there doing their thing? It's like,
I guess it's always they're worried about. Well, they're going to be confused. They don't know who the real hero is because they all have the same power. Whatever. I think it's proved that.
Well, that late 80s, that was weird, because after Crisis, they got rid of all the multiple Earths and stuff. It was like, oh, people are going to be confused. We're just going to have one universe now. Yeah, we see how that lasted.
That worked out great.
All right, I was going to say, do we want to read some of these synopses, like, for the arcs, and we'll talk it out arc by arc?
Yeah, if you want to, that sounds good.
All right. Will, I gave you the first one, because I know you're itching to talk about that first issue.
Yeah, it was such a tone shift and focus shift from, there's not a lot, honestly, that at least I don't feel like. I mean, it was, I don't want to put down the creators. They did the work, that they were assigned, and I think they did it to the best of their ability. But there was just something about the loss of spectacle and grandeur, and then. There really wasn't anything about this that made it a Green Lantern story in my mind. It could have, you could substitute almost any hero,
Oh, yeah. Very generic.
So, it was kind of a disappointment to go from his own book to something, where he didn't even have to really be there, I guess,
Exactly.
And, I'm sure it was great to work with Gil Kane. I mean, James Owsley's a good writer, and, it felt smaller to me.
Yeah.
Green Lantern felt smaller. And it was about, and then Star Sapphire was just, what? Where did that come from? Right? I think it gets explained in the 20s or the 30s of the Green Lantern series after this. Was it Predator? That was possessing her or something.
Predator's like, is that? I think it's like late 30s or early 40s.
But right before Emerald Twilight, yeah. So it was. So they kind of cleaned up that little mess because they still wanted to have Carol, so it wasn't really her, right? But I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was such a shift. I wasn't buying it off the stands at that point. So I don't know how I would have felt if I would have, been reading Green Lantern Corps, it got canceled, and then flipped over to Action Comics Weekly and then popped this up and went, I feel like I'd have been, what the heck? What are we getting here? But, it was, at least Green Lantern was still being published. He didn't have his own book, but at least, we still got to see him weekly, right?
Well, you figure eight pages a week. I mean, that was, he still got like 32 pages a month, so not bad.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't always have the cover, but it was usually the lead story. And the ones that I read, I think there was only one story where it was buried in the back.
Yeah.
The final story. Yeah.
But I mean, we get the oath in one issue, I think, and then we also get it when Peter David takes over and he goes on Oprah.
Oh my God!
Yes,
but that's for someone else to talk about that.
Yeah. Thank you. I love the portrayal of Oprah. It's good stuff.
She seemed angry.
Off-camera Oprah is It's like a super villain.
Hey,
right.
Don't be late. Don't be late. Okay.
Okay. What was worse, him going on the Oprah show, or getting locked in a yellow safe?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Oprah thing you could kind of understand from a practical perspective. You know, he's trying to be a PR stunt or clear his name. Everyone thinks he's a psychotic murderer, but being inside the yellow safe was a bit of a blooper, and the fact that he creates a very Hulk-like thing to get him out was I don't know. I think that was worse. I'm gonna say that's worse than Oprah.
Well, that was a Peter David story, right? So maybe the Hulk was like an Easter egg.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a nod. Yeah.
Yeah, and Peter David's a good writer. It's just I don't think he had a real affinity for this character.
Yeah.
At least it didn't seem to show in the published work anyway.
And again, the timing. It was 8 pages once a week. So I don't know if I think it hurt everyone, just the timing.
Yeah, I mean, the pacing, you've got to have, your opening, and then you've got 6 pages, then your last page has got to cliffhanger it somehow. So it would be a quite an exercise, but honestly, look at 52. 52 was them doing the weekly thing right.
Oh, yeah.
When it came out, and 52 was an accomplishment. I mean, I think it still stands as a pretty amazing accomplishment because of it held together and was done so well.
Yeah, but I don't know if I just thought this or I read it somewhere, but I think they had a bunch of those in the can before they even started, so that helped.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they had to. They were probably working on it 6 months in advance, so that they had 26 issues done before they even solicited the first one. I mean, I don't know for sure, but that takes a lot of organization and just skill to keep everybody on target and moving forward. It's impressive. I mean, and they did 42 issues of this. They almost made it a full year, which is pretty amazing too. I mean, and these were 48-page issues versus 52, which was standard comic size, right? It had like 3 8-page stories in it, I think. So half the size of one of these monsters. So yeah, this is an accomplishment too. But I don't know. I just don't feel like sometimes the teams just didn't really gel with the character, I think. And probably not just in the Green Lantern stories. I mean, I didn't read a lot of the other ones, but that would be my guess too.
And again, I mean, I think how many different creative teams did we have for Green Lantern? I think it was 2 or 3, wasn't it? So it's like,
I think so, yeah.
Again, you really can't pick up momentum either when it's like, someone's writing an arc or 2 and then someone else takes over and,
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of coordination and communication just to make sure, hey, wait, I got to read what you wrote because you set something up. I should probably use that, otherwise it's wasted, right? I mean,
but like Matt was saying, he was trying to clear his name going on Oprah. It wasn't his name; it was Jon Stewart. Because remember, for some reason, they took the Green Lanterns took the hit for when Sapphire crashed that plane, and it's just like, okay, everyone's ever heard of a supervillain? But because Jon Stewart's identity was public knowledge. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, I never really thought of this. It's like Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner both had like their identities are common knowledge, but Cal's isn't. So I was like,
it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, and then they kind of hand wave John's stuff away and then deal with it in a special later. It's just like,
yep, number 1.
That one right there.
Yeah, because it's weird because he goes over to was it South Africa?
South Africa.
Yeah.
You're dealing with apartheid.
Yeah, because he gets locked. They take custody of him from the United States government for some reason. And Hal's all in the special. Hal's all worried about him, and he goes to Oa. Okay, here's our first indicator. He goes to see the old timer, and the old timer's like, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, I found Jon Stewart's ring. You can give him his ring back." Again, warning sign. We'll get to that next week. So Hal goes and gives Jon the ring, and Jon's like, "I ain't putting that on." He was gonna like just ride out prison or whatever to make some kind of statement. He's like, Hal just puts the ring on the floor. He's like, "Here." He's like, "My part's done. You break out or you stay here. It's up to you."
It's up to you.
But you have to decide in 24 hours.
Yeah, you got 24 hours. That is right.
So but then Jon Stewart helps the rebels or whatever over there, and like they trick him into doing some nasty stuff. He's really making a statement over there, because even Superman comes to visit Hal, and he's like, "Hey, you take care of Jon Stewart, or I'm going to take care of Jon Stewart."
Yeah. The big blue Boy Scout, right?
Yeah, and I think it ends with like Jon's like, "Oh, I got to take a break." I think he goes into space for a while, which I'm assuming that goes in the Cosmic Odyssey.
Oh yeah, you're right, because Cosmic Odyssey is what kind of breaks him so that he's ready for the weirdness of Mosaic.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll see the aftermath of that next week. But yeah, Cosmic Odyssey. I don't know if I even read that whole thing. So Will, refresh me in Kona. Like Jon Stewart, I'm sure it's an accident, but he lets a whole planet die. So
they, it's not something that we've seen. They kind of change his characterization a little bit. He goes in basically, "I'm a Green Lantern. I got this. You guys." He's with Martian Manhunter, I think.
Yeah.
"I got this. I got this. You don't have to worry about anything." And they get there, and the bomb is completely made out of yellow, and it blows up because he can't stop it because of green. And he basically sidelined. It was, they made him be arrogant, and then they punished him and that entire star system for his arrogance, and then they used that to kind of break him, so that when he, after we get the first 8-issue arc of the new series
next week,
we get Mosaic spinning off. And Mosaic, I was buying Mosaic when it came out. Mosaic was unlike anything else DC was doing at the time. It was so different and weird and awesome.
I didn't buy it at the time. I wasn't full time until Kyle Rayner started. But yeah, I bought the first couple issues of Mosaic, and I read them. I was like, "Oh, I got to get all of these."
It's just so different than anything else because it deals a lot with I think Kat Matui shows up because why not? Just there's all this stuff going on in the Mosaic, and is John crazy? Is he not crazy? What's up with the old time? What's going on? And the theme of building those communities and having them live side by side. It was.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
I still think it's a pretty. I want to go back. I need to go back and read it. I'm looking forward to reading it again.
Definitely, yeah, I know, because so we're gonna be covering Green Lantern. Once we hit Guy Gardner, we covered those issues. We added Dark Stars, the Jon Stewart issues anyway. So
yeah, and I remember the Dark Stars were pretty cool early on. That's the first published work of Travis Charest, who's on Wildcats and an amazing artist. It's DC in the early '90s was an interesting place sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's Cosmic Odyssey. And Cosmic Odyssey was pretty good. It was Jim Starlin wrote it, and then I think Jim Starlin wrote it, and then Mike Mignola was doing the art. And the art was pretty amazing. I don't think I got it when it came out. I picked it up later, but and it was pretty good. But I don't know, there's something about DC Cosmic, at least during that time, that didn't really approach Marvel Cosmic in my mind. It was, and I can't quite put my finger on why. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more.
I agree with you. Again, I don't know why either, but if it wasn't Green Lantern, DC Cosmic, I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it didn't have the same pull, I think. With Marvel, you had the Surfer, and then you had, of course, the best Marvel Cosmic title, Quasar, right?
Of course.
And you had, the Infinity stuff. We had Guardians of the Galaxy going on in the future. It was Marvel Cosmic was just this kind of cool place back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, late 80s and 90s.
I think it was more fleshed out than some of the DC stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, what was going on besides Green Lantern Cosmic-wise at this point? Were Omega Men now at this point?
You know, I don't remember. They might have been, but I mean, a lot of the cosmic stuff, I think, too, had been kind of ceded to the Legion, you know, in the future.
I was going to say, Legion 89 or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then Legion of Superheroes, and then they kind of broke the Legion with Crisis, you know, because Superboy didn't exist, so he was never found, you know, all that weird stuff. And Supergirl and Brainiac, and I mean, I love the Legion. They're awesome. It's just that I don't know that they ever really recovered from what Crisis did to them and all the patches and the attempts to fix and rewrite and retcon.
You mean how Superboy was like a big, huge member, and then once after Crisis, John Byrne's like, "Oh yeah, Superman was never Superboy," and it's like, wait a minute. One of our big bedrocks for Legion is we have a Superboy. What the hell?
Yeah, and you know it's wild because you know New Teen Titans. Legion were, you know, some of the best sellers in the, you know, mid to mid 80s, right?
Oh, yeah.
Early to mid 80s.
I think they said that was like the big head-to-head with Marvel and DC in the 80s. It was like Teen Titans and X-Men.
Mm-hmm. Great crossover, too.
I was going to say, hey, give you a hint, probably in about a year when we hit episode 50, I think we're doing that Green Lantern Silver Surfer crossover.
I have not read that in a long time. Very long time.
Okay, I'm trying to think what else we had here. Did you?
Oh, so we're through. So we've done the first arc. The first little arc was the Star Sapphire crazy arc, and there's some uncomfortable stuff in there. I think because I mean,
killing Kat Matui in the first issue. It's only eight pages, and we're done. And
then, you know, Hal coming in and just smacking the crap out of Carol, you know. She didn't have a ring, and I was like, oh, that's not really cool, guys. You can't really do that. But then the second arc was the where Peter David took over, and we had the Oprah and the Hassan Chop, right? The guys with the swords.
Oh, yeah.
What was the third arc? I'm trying to remember.
Hold on, I got pull some of these up here. The email number 3 was another Peter David. It was 6 issues. Aricia modeling.
Oh yeah, she leaves basically, and that's
again, yeah. She like, I'm leaving. He's like, fine.
Okay.
I mean, that was a big thing. So I mean, they never got back together, did they?
No, I don't think so. No.
I mean, she was back in the Corps eventually, but yeah, those two.
Yeah, they finally found her like right before. You know, it's after Sinestro Corps War, I think, and before all the Blackest Night stuff started happening. Yeah. Then it looks like James Owsley comes back after that storyline, and. Yeah, this is where
it's weird because like Jon Stewart's on trial and like Carol like fakes her death and stuff, so it makes it look like
it's murderer. Weird. And then it's hand waved away. Oh, there was no body, so you didn't commit the murder that we all saw you commit, which was really a fake anyway. But what?
Yeah, but that's when like
there was a grave. Yeah, I know. They had a funeral process.
Exactly. She was actually. John went in and pulled out the in the morgue, and her body was on a slab, and she was like, "Hey, man,
what's up? Gotcha."
It was pretty crazy.
Body couldn't be produced, literally out of sight, out of mind, you know. But yeah, that's when, that's when.
So after Peter David, we had James Owsley and M.D. Bright coming back, and M.D. Bright does an awesome Green Lantern.
Oh yeah,
because he's the one who did Emerald Dawn 1 and 2 for us, right?
Yeah, doesn't he do some of the series coming up too?
I think so. I think Pat Broderick does the first 8, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, yeah, we'll see next week. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Broderick. Yeah, because for a while there, isn't it? Like, I mean, after those first 8, we kind of get you get like a Guy arc, and then you get Hal and John, and like each Lantern has like they're kind of their own artists for a while, don't they?
I think so. I really do. It's been a while, but I think you're right. And then finally it settles in on Hal.
Yeah.
Because Guy gets his own book. John's over in Mosaic. And
kind of
I think
Kilowog
Kilowog is still in JLA at that point, maybe.
Yeah, but he gets a ring though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, yeah, because like Hal, Guy, and John each have their own book till Emerald Twilight.
Mm-hmm. And then things really change.
Yeah, I could say that.
Kind of.
Oh Lord, but yeah.
And then we have 10 years? I guess it's about 10 years.
What, Kyle Rayner?
Of Kyle Rayner, or is it 12 years? 10 or 12 years of Kyle Rayner the book.
It's about 10, I think. Yeah, he starts in 94, and then when's Rebirth start? 2004, isn't it?
2005, yeah, something like that. And I see Kyle goes from issue 51 or 50.
Yeah, it's like. And
Green Lantern ends at 170.
No, I think it's like 180 something.
180 something. Okay, maybe 181. I'll have to look that up.
Right in the Rebirth. Yeah. But again, you get John come back,
Mm-hmm.
Get Jade.
Yeah, we get, and that's the cool thing that Ron Mars did was bring a lot of the Green Lantern mythos kind of back into at least, be there. Even if it wasn't necessarily utilized, it was at least kind of referenced and they made readers aware of it, that there's this huge legacy, of what Green Lantern was for the DC universe, which is kind of cool.
Okay, I was looking at the 5th arc here. Oh, yes, someone we haven't mentioned yet, Priest. Such an alien name, Priest.
Yes. You or Matt are going to talk about that
one? What did you think, Matt?
I don't know if I got to this one. This is the 5th arc. I have the
did you see
the recap about it.
Yeah, he's like the red alien. He kind of gets all.
Yeah, he rescues a tiny alien ship that's about to go into the sun, and then the ring cuts him off from reality, and he pilots a plane which crashes, and the battery, this ring explodes. Oh yeah, I did remember this where he's fighting against all the things in his head, right? Against fear and all that stuff.
I think
is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Priest goes all zen on him. He's like, you don't need that battery to recharge your ring. And
yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
That's not what they told me.
Yeah. Right. Are you rebooting this? Yeah. He's in the midst of this war and. Big time revisionist history. Yeah. But he acts as the peacekeeper, goes back to Earth feeling better, and
oh yeah, that alien. What was it, like a wooden spaceship or something?
Yeah. So he thinks he did something good, but then we find out that the two sides are actually going to be working together on a weapon, so that could come back to haunt him later on. Yeah.
But I don't think it ever does it? It just kind of...
No.
Oh, yeah, no, it does. It's in the second special that Phil has right there. They deal with all of this stuff with Malvolio.
Oh, yeah, because Hal's ring gets destroyed, and Malvolio and stuff. Because he goes looking for that ship, because, I mean, I think it's at the next arc where it's like, the alien, sees, some, I don't know if it's like Rambo or something, but some violent movie and decides, this is how they act here, and starts getting all violent and destroying stuff, and Captain Atom just everyone read that? Captain Atom comes in and wants to kill the alien, and Hal's like, no, we can't kill him. But yeah, in special number 2, he goes looking for the ship at after it gets off Earth, but he doesn't find it, and it's never referenced again, I don't think. Because he's like, the alien's dangerous. He's going to hurt somebody. It's another world. And then, but gone.
What was the final issue? 635?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. And then we had the Neil Gaiman written issue came out later.
Oh yeah.
With Superman and Green Lantern, which was which was really interesting.
Yeah, and I think they said it was kind of hard to fit in continuity. It's kind of out of continuity because like the way Gaiman wrote it, it's like Hal knew Clark Kent's identity, but like in regular continuity, he didn't at this point. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and 35 is they all kind of cross over, don't they?
Oh yeah, there's one story where like all the Action Comics characters, yeah.
So how did Hal end up in 634 then? Oh, we had Alan Scott, who's looking really buff there. I mean, Kilowog buff.
Is that Malvolio?
That may be, yeah. I guess I don't know. Yeah, that is.
Malvolio looks like Alan Scott, although like he was jacked up to Kilowog proportions. Yeah, but again, it's like the Guardians just let this guy run around with a ring.
Yeah,
yeah.
What the heck?
I mean, they're all over like Guy Gardner's butt if he's like opening a beer bottle with his ring, and it's like, oh yeah, we're just like this guy just like enslaves this planet and stuff.
Yeah, and then we get his ring is gone. The end, as final as it gets.
Yeah. But then he takes Malvolio's ring and he's like, oh, one day I will get my revenge. And he's still waiting for that revenge.
Sorry.
It's like over in Quasar when it's like Ames like, we're going to get him. And then they never show up again.
And we never see him again. It's been 33 years now, and still no sign of Malvolio, right?
But yeah, supposedly had some connection to Alan Scott. Yeah, we never. But yeah, we'll get into Alan Scott. Or was it issue 19?
Yeah.
That
was the anniversary issue, wasn't it?
I think. Yeah.
That was a good one. It was double sized, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know if that's why they didn't go to 642 with Green Lantern, because they wanted to start up number 1 because 1990 was the 50th anniversary of Green Lantern. We'll count from Alan Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, I think Hal was probably like the second best known character in these, next to Superman.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Black Canary. Yeah. Her stories were, she's probably not so much Dead Man or was it Wild Dog or
maybe Nightwing, but I mean, yeah, he wasn't in all the issues. I mean, Tao was straight through, this first 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them didn't get every issue.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, I think it's fair to say that, and I think it's just totally expected that they seem a little unfocused.
Yeah, again, it's like shifting teams, limited timetable. Yeah,
but what happened after.
I mean, I'm sure it was nice to get Hal on a weekly basis, but they should have just like rotated everybody. It should have been like, okay, here's 6 issues of Hal, and then you get somebody else, and then Hal will be back after that arc, and give people time to.
Well, they did kind of something similar to this with the old Marvel Comics Presents. So you had 4 stories in there that were. Yeah. I guess 8 pages each, and they would time them so that one would end after say 10 issues, but another one would begin at issue 8. So there was always a continuing, I need to know what happened next for this story or this story, and I guess it worked out. I bought a lot of them, so.
and Ray and I sometime last year we talked to Terry Cavanaugh, who was like an editor on Marvel Comics Presents, and he's like, yeah, the rule going was like one story always had to be a mutant story, and then eventually it morphed into one story. It has to always be a Wolverine story.
Yeah, yeah. But we got Weapon X with Barry Windsor Smith on that, which is mind blowing for. That wasn't its own book. It started in like issue 72, not a divisible by 50 or 5 or anything. Just, hey, here's this. Let's just start throwing this in there now. Okay, cool.
But I mean, that was success. I mean, that ran for 170 issues or something.
I think it was 175, but it was a lot.
Because I was to say, Action Comics, they got 42, and that was it. The comics world heard all that crap Will Allred's talking.
That's right. I'm complimenting people. I must pay for that.
His Kickstarter's blowing up. It's a controversial figure.
Well, I will silence that. There we go. Sorry about that.
So I know sometimes we like the goofy stuff, but Matt, it was like, this was a little difficult to get through like some of the other stuff. Matt.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Sorry. I was going to say, were these a little bit more of a slog to get through than like the Emerald Dawns? And...
Yeah, a little bit. Emerald Dawn felt a little bit more rich, and more of like a page turner.
Yeah.
This it seems like something. Did you ever read the 3-paneled Spider-Mans in the newspaper?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sort of seems like obviously a bigger expanded version of that. Where it kind of drags along and. Some days are better than others, but yeah.
Well, so when did Green Lantern was canceled with 224, or Green Lantern Corps was canceled with 224. He jumped over into Action Comics Weekly. Where does Emerald Dawn and Emerald Dawn 2 fit? Were those after his Action Comics Weekly stuff?
I think wasn't. I think I'm trying to remember. I think in Emerald Dawn 1, wasn't it like right before issue 1?
Maybe.
I wasn't reading at the time, but I swear it's like at the end of the first miniseries. Didn't it say something like, check out Green Lantern #1 or something? Or because I think they dropped the first Emerald Dawn like right between Action Comics Weekly and issue 1, just as like a primer. And then that must have been successful. So then they dropped 2 somewhere.
They dropped the second one, yeah.
after the series started.
Emerald Dawn #1 looks like it was December of '89. So I guess it was just after the Action Comics Weekly stuff. Because it finished up in May of '90. So yeah, it was monthly, so 6 issues.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I hadn't really put a timeline on that. You know?
Like I said, I bought all those back issues. Yeah, I wasn't reading at the time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I can't remember if I think I probably ended up buying those as back issues because I wasn't. Heck, I don't. It's been a few years ago, just a few.
I was gonna say we got Hal in this, and then John, which kind of had to get wrapped up in a special, but it's like. I was going to say, no Guy Gardner, but unless just because he was in Justice League every month.
Probably, and maybe the same with Kilowog.
Yeah.
At some point, he gets a ring, right?
I think when they restart the Corps, I don't think he had a ring at this point, so that's probably one of the reasons. Although, didn't he show up at Katma's funeral? Kilowog? Oh,
I don't remember. Maybe.
Remember.
But Guy Gardner didn't. They made it a point to say that he was a jerk. Basically,
Well, I don't know how much did he even know Cat? Did he know Catman that well?
I don't know. I mean, he and Aricia, I think, got along pretty good. But I still don't remember a lot of this. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in the Guy Gardner series.
But that's just so weird, though. Like they kill Catma so quickly, and it's just like oh, well, it's moving on.
Moving on.
She was powerless. You really, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to say fridging, but we're going to get to that towards the end of the year.
Fridging comes later, yes.
Yes, if you heard the term fridging, Coda, you're going to discover its origin at the end of the year.
Yeah, you might. Have you ever read the Women in Fridges? There's a blog out there, I think, called Women in Fridges. It's all about misogyny and popular fiction or movies and popular culture about how, women only serve to motivate, their deaths motivate male characters. They have no agency of their own, and they make a lot of really good points.
And we'll get to like I said, end of the year we're going to get to the Kal Rayner issue where that term comes from.
Yeah. And then there's another term called nuke in the fridge, which comes from a movie that stars Harrison Ford, but we all know that there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies, so take with that what you will.
Not for long. Aren't they making another one?
I believe so, yeah.
Indiana Jones breaks a hip.
Nuking the fridge.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else in these that we didn't discuss?
I can't really think of anything.
I was gonna say I knew I had to drop the yellow safe in there, so we did cover that.
We talked Malvolio and Priest.
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't see a lot of him, but I mean, do kind of get the little drips and drabs of the old timer, which I mean, kind of, sort of setting up what we're gonna get next week.
And Oprah.
Oh, Oprah.
We got Oprah.
But remember, kids, Priest goes to stay with the old timer, so remember that for next week.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I feel like the really big things were them trying to retcon, it takes away all fear. That bothered me. And then you don't need a power battery. Everything they told you was a lie. You can just use the Force. Use the Force.
There is no spoon, Neo.
That's right. There is no battery, Hal.
But yeah, they swept so much of this under the rug later. I mean, they kept the Catman death, but besides that, they swept everything else pretty much under the rug. It's like,
that was really the only thing that was ever referenced from this that I know of. Yeah. Nothing else that happened is ever really even. I mean, even the specials, those spun out of this, and those aren't really even talked about.
Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, when I first started reading Green Lantern full time, and I was going back in back issues, I just remember them kept referencing Katma's death, Action Comics Weekly 601, and I never saw any other reference to any other Action Comics issue for Green Lantern. And I was like, well, how many issues was he in?
There you go, 35.
So Matt, don't worry about the ring taking away his fear. That's never brought up again. That Malvolio, he's never brought up again, except maybe in a letter column, but never again.
33 years later, and he still wants his revenge. He still is trying to get his revenge 33 years later.
That's a grudge right there.
Oh,
that's
my God. You know what? Grant Morrison should have brought him in, and because I think Grant Morrison's almost done. I'm like, oh, he should have brought him in.
Yeah, we got one more issue of season 2, and that's it.
I think. Then we get a new series. What was it? Was it March maybe or April? Yeah.
Yeah, I still need to go back and pick up, I think, Far Sector and fill in some of the post-War of the Green Lanterns issues, the New 52, the Rebirth, and those things. Get kind of caught up.
Yeah, my guy had to order me some of the in-betweens, but I mean, I'm pretty much caught up on Far Sector at most of the issues, and including the newest one. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it even deals with some modern topics. It's like protesters, how protesting, and it's like this whole alien world where they suppress emotion and stuff, and
yeah, I've heard it's really good. Not just from you, from several people.
And the art's really good. The art in it is really good too.
Cool.
Looking forward to that one.
All right. So, anything else on these ones?
No. I thought when we first started talking about it, I thought they were not going to be as modern as they were. So I was surprised. I forget how long Action Comics has been around, 600 and. We're at 1,000 now, even though I know it wasn't as linear. But
I think you make a good point about how modern they are. I feel like the old the 224, the old Green Lantern Corps series was kind of on the cusp, and this kind of bridges Green Lantern across so it gets modern with the new number 1, in the Emerald Dawn stuff. So they're kind of modern, but kind of throwback. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff was goofy. A lot of it they never mention again. But I think the Action Comic stuff is kind of like the Cocoon, because it's 224 is that caterpillar. It crawls into Action Comics, and then next week when we get to the new series, number 1, it'll be Butterfly.
Yeah.
So going forward, kids, it'll be a pretty straight shot. Just the regular series, starting with issue 1 in 1990, and again, once we'll be adding stuff once we get to the Guy Gardner stuff, Mosaic.
We can maybe jump back and look at his first appearance, and even because he shows up during Crisis. There's a few issues there that we could maybe talk about if you wanted to.
Yeah. Maybe we'll recommend some reading.
And then he had it was like a prestige format series.
Oh yeah, Guy Gardner Reborn. That's on the list. Yes, I just read this for the first time not too long ago.
I remember picking that. I think I was working at a comic shop at the time. That's just why I got that one, and it was good. I think Joe Staten was doing the art, and at that point, pretty much all Green Lantern stuff was written by the same writer. I think which we talked about him a little bit. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. All right, so Matt Kona, comic book connoisseur, what grade would you give the Action Comics Weekly Green Lantern arcs?
The art?
The arcs altogether.
Okay. I mean, I think they were a little inconsistent, so I'll say C+. You could do better. See me after class. Red ink on the corner.
Nice.
No sticker for that.
Oh.
I mean, I read them. It wasn't like pulling teeth. I mean, I kind of rushed through them, but it didn't stick with me or resonate with me. It did lead me to think, did they have to get Oprah's approval for that? I mean, they never called her Oprah Winfrey. They called her Oprah at some points and Ms. Winfrey at others. I don't know, but I'm sure they had some Batman money coming in from the movies, but maybe they could have.
Batman.
Oh, that would have been funny if she was like an alien, or if they showed she was an alien or something.
For me, I think I have to agree with Matt. C+. I mean, I think it needed a lot stronger focus, and maybe a single creative team. If they could have got away with that, that would have probably helped. But it just seemed kind of hit and miss throughout it.
I mean, yeah, I got to agree with you guys. It's like C+ territory. I don't know. I mean, I think you think it's maybe they wanted to do a cliffhanger, like you said, every issue. It's like, would it have been better if they would have got one writer, wrote one big story, just chopped it up for each issue?
Yeah, but you still have to worry about the flow of it, because you do want to bring them back each issue. So maybe not a full on cliffhanger. Oh my God, he's going to die, but at least something.
But it's like, oh, who was behind how? Who said something to him? Oh, to come back next week, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experiment, and I don't think we would have got 52 if this hadn't happened. So I think it was certainly worth it.
I know what we didn't talk about. The very first issue, it's like, Jon Stewart's like, oh, why you guys, you deadbeat, why are you living with us? He's like, just go over and just get some diamonds from a diamond mine. So I think that's really ticked off the South Africans. It's like, yeah, we're just plundering your
natural resources.
The Guardians aren't around. No one's looking. Go steal some diamonds and sell them.
Or go to another planet that's uninhabited and harvest some natural resources there and bring them back,
Oh, you got a power ring. Go to the bottom of the ocean. Find some buried treasure, some sunken treasure or something.
Yeah. Go lift the Titanic up.
As long as they're not gold coins.
Oh, nice. Yes, that's right. Gold doubloons. All right. We talked these out.
I think so.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I'll pull up the schedule for the actual issue numbers. But yeah, I know next week we're covering the first arc, which will be the first 8 issues of the 90s Green Lantern series.
And I'm looking forward to that, because I don't think I have read those 8 issues since they came out, honestly. It's been a long time.
You know what? I did read, though. I just read them not too long ago for this. Yeah. All right. Keep this in mind and let me know what you think. If there's like a time jump, and how big a time jump you think there is between the Action Comics stuff and next week's the first arc.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, his temples are gray, but that's kind of like a parallax thing. But in hindsight,
but at the time, it wasn't parallax.
No, yeah. And I think he says something in issue 1 about being Green Lantern for 10 years or something. He says there's a whole bunch of years. He says he's been Green Lantern. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I will make a note.
Keep that in mind. Yeah. So yeah, next.
I went to the local comic book store and got a couple back issues.
Oh, nice.
And I got 3, 4, 7, and 8. So
three's a good
cool.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely remember reading at least number 8 when I was a kid. The cover very vividly in my mind sticks out. So looking forward to delving back into it.
Oh, 3 is such a good one. Hal and Guy versus the Rednecks.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah. I think I do remember that.
I think someone swiped your drawer, kids. Issue 2, The Tattooed Man.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it has been a long time since I read those. I definitely need to get back to them.
So, yeah. All right. I have something else I was going to ask you guys. All right. So, yeah, next week is Green Lantern 1 through 8 from 1990. And then in 2 weeks, Green Lantern 9 through 12. A guy in his Gnort. So I wonder who the Green Lantern is in that one. Well, all right. And then in 3 weeks, I just had one issue on there, Green Lantern 13. So since we only have one issue for that episode, do you think we should do a live read?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun, yeah.
Yeah, since it's been a while, yeah. So if you're listening to this, Ray, yeah, we're getting a live read in like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then after that, it's Green Lantern 14 through 17, which is kind of like the arc's called Mosaic, but it's not the actual Mosaic book yet. Kind of sets that up. But yeah, I figure anytime we do there's not a lot, but when we do one issue, maybe we'll do live reads like Green Lantern 13's by itself, and then Green Lantern 25 is by itself. So I think we need to do a live read of that.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to remember what was 25.
Hal and Guy. Whoever loses leaves the corn.
Loses the ring. That's right. Okay, yeah. I remember that one now.
That one's by itself. I swear we have to do a live read of that.
Yeah, we got to do a live read of that one.
Yeah.
Then there's an Adam Strange arc in the 30s, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like late 30s, isn't it? Yeah, it's like around 38 and 39. I think that might be it. 'Cause that's what I have on the.
And then, boom! Once we hit 40, Doomsday's going on, and we get Emerald Twilight. What is it? 41, 42.
Wait, what?
Is it three-parter? It's 40, 43, 44, and 45. Is that it?
What?
Emerald Twilight.
No, 48, 49, 50.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's a 3-parter. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what happened in the early 40s.
Well, issue 40. Remember, it's how encounters the supposedly resurrected Barry Allen. Spoilers, it's not.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That was during Wade's run on The Flash.
Yeah.
It was Zoom.
Issue 30 and 31, there's going to be a crossover with The Flash because we're going to be covering Flash 69 and 70. The guerrilla warfare, Gorilla Grodd, and Hector Hammond, yeah.
Hey, monkeys are cool, man.
So, yeah, we're going to get in a Flash crossover. No, those early 40s, it's that's the Predator stuff.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And then, what is it, around, 40? Yeah, Green Lantern 44 and 45 is like that. What is it, Trinity?
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, and then 46 is the crossover with Reign of the Supermen, so we'll have to have a Death and Reign of Superman discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then 47 is a Green Arrow issue, and then 48 through 50 is
good old Emerald Twilight.
And then Kal Rayner takes over.
And then we have to have a talk about fridging in a few issues.
Issue 54, yeah. All right, so yes, got plenty of stuff to look forward to coming up, kids. So please, Aussie Fanboy, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Sector 2814, the Green Lantern Podcast, on Facebook, Twitter. We have the Book of O, our Facebook group. Please join us there. We're closing in on 50 members. So, again, follow us. Get some background on Green Lantern before that show starts. Whatever, on HBO Max. It's got to be better than the Snyder Cut. Come on.
You're not wrong.
4 hours. It's going to be so much better. So yeah.
Oh, and I don't know where you can watch it right now. You may not be able to stream it, but I was really impressed with the Green Lantern animated series that came out, the CGI series from around the time of the movie, I guess.
If it's not on there yet, I bet you it's probably coming to HBO Max soon, because especially with that series coming. Because they're adding stuff all the time. Because I see I think all the Batman stuff's there now. I know they added Justice League not too long. Was it this week or last week? I think they added Static Shock. So I'm probably coming. Cool. That Green Lantern stuff's probably coming.
Awesome, because I saw the first half of it, but I haven't seen the second half, and they start dealing with all the core. They start out dealing with the cores because you've got Red Lanterns showing up initially, and then you get, I think, some of the other cores as well. It's been a while since but I want to go back and watch that. That's a good show.
I wonder if the animated movies are on there. What, First Flight and what was that other one? Emerald? Was it Emerald Knights or
Emerald Knights? Maybe Emerald Knights.
I was gonna say I have a one Blu-ray, so I'm really not looking on HBO Max, but they might. I don't know if they're on there yet or not.
New Frontier. Oh my God, New Frontier's awesome.
Well, that's everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Justice League. All right, so follow us on social media. Find links to this YouTube. You can watch this video. Find links to the Patreon, links to merch, links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/CapeSaveLunatics. And remember to support our sponsors, Tweaked Audio. Get yourself some good headphones, and Hunt a Killer. And also pick up Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And when you do, get that on Amazon. Use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that crazy madman. No, not Lord Malibu, whatever. Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain. So says Master Doom. What did you say?
All right, I'm going to get it right this week. Matt Kona. When you're not busy stacking diapers, where can people find you?
You can find me at Matt Kona, or you could go to tinyurl.com/Matt and Yale and buy some stuff for my unborn baby. No, I'm just kidding. No, you can Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at Matt Kona. That's where I am. Yeah.
I'm visiting nursing homes with bad intentions.
See you later, bunkies.
Yeah, we need more live reads. We need more drops. All right. Master of the Green Lantern Corps, Will Allred, where can people find you and your Kickstarter and all your other works?
You can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED. And that's at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and all of those places. You can find my self-published work, Diary of Night, at diaryofnight.com. Is pretty cool looking. And you can find the latest work, which is Crossover Division, at crossoverdivision.com, which we should begin fulfillment. Well, we're going to get the book printed hopefully this week, or send it to the printer this week. So that's coming up. And then you're looking at a few pretty diehard Quasar fans here. So if you want to know more about Quasar, you can always visit the Quantum Zone at quantumzone.org.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
Yeah, and you last 3 people. Send in your addresses for that Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's right.
I am God.
Star Blast, the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. All right, kiddies. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sorry if you suffered through Action Comics Weekly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you read any of it yet, Matt Kona. But yes, the next week a lot better issues.
Yeah, no, I definitely read some of them. Probably didn't get number 1 because but I'm gonna look forward to rereading them. Reading and rereading.
For a change of pace, issue 1 opens with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Come back next time. And remember, brightest day, blackest night. Let's read some comics, kids.
Yeah.
I am Connor from the House of L. And I am Ray from the House of Zod.
We are two of the many, many survivors of Krypton's destruction, and we have made our home in Australia, and dare I say, have become Australians, for better or worse. But we have also decided to read Superman comics, read Superman books, watch Superman shows, cartoons, movies, basically everything Superman, and from an Australian perspective as well. Whether you're a seasoned fan, like me,
Or whether you are coming in fresh, wide-eyed and wanting to learn more like me, then this podcast is for you. Join us for our bi-weekly adventures available on all good podcast catchers.
so just search for Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast. We'll be coming to you from Australia or some cosmic dimension, wherever we are that week. Up,
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 and away.